Welcome, welcome everybody. Ellen is saying, I can hear and see you in case it was helpful to know that. Ellen, that's always helpful to know because that's literally my first question anytime I do a live stream because I'm so awkward and weird when it comes to these. I'm actually going to take off my glasses so we can avoid this, the lights in the eyes. It will drive my ADHD absolutely crazy. And I don't actually wear glasses. These are blue blockers so that I can protect my eyes well. I'm staring at a screen all day. Jamie is saying hello. Hey Jamie, how's it going? I'm going to pop over to Facebook as well. So I'm kind of oscillating between two monitors here. Eileen is saying, hey. She's in California today. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you're visiting some family out there in Cali. Hopefully it's going okay. Claire is here. She's saying, very glad to be part of this. Thank you so much for offering it. It is my absolute pleasure. So in case you're just tuning in and you're wondering kind of what the heck today's presentation is all about, I'm here to tell you. So today we're talking about the 10 secret strategies to attract your first organizing clients. Now, I realize that many people watching and listening are not necessarily brand new, but you can always extrapolate new little nuggets of wisdom, even if this is geared towards folks who are on, the newer side of their business. Sandra is saying, hey, Melanie, what's up, Sandra? It's good to see you guys. Thanks for popping in the comments in the chat. Just in case you didn't see earlier, we are going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A session at the end of today's live stream. So if you guys have questions that you need answered, even if it doesn't have anything to do with attracting your organizing clients, I'm happy to help with that. So you can always learn something new. Absolutely. Even if you aren't brand new, you can always learn something new. Maybe something that we're going to talk about today is just a reminder that you needed. Maybe something that we talk about today is something that I say in a certain way that finally makes it go like, oh my gosh, light bulb moment for you. So we are going to get started with all of this because this is a pretty involved topic. And so I want to make sure that we get to everything and then we can do the Q&A and we're not here forever. So I'm also going to be sharing some super special news with you at the end of today's live stream. So you'll want to stick around until the end to figure out what the heck it is that I'm talking about. Some really exciting things that I am rolling out as part of the I Speak Organized arsenal of resources and training for everybody. So if you're kind of at the point where you need more, you're ready to put the pedal to the metal and make your business as successful as possible in 2025, I've got all the resources and more to help you out with that. And so I'm going to share a little bit about what that looks like at the end of today's training. So before we get started, I want to know where everybody's tuning in from. I know Eileen is in Cali today. She lives just down the street from me in Vancouver, Washington, usually, but she's visiting family. So where are you watching from today? Tell me all the things. We got Jamie from Northern Michigan. Welcome. What else? Who else? And pop over to Facebook and see. We got Holly from South Carolina. What's up, sister? How you doing? We have somebody in here, Angie, who's saying that she is a complete newbie. And so what do I do first? Okay, well, we are going to school you up on all that. Lonnie is watching from Metro Detroit. We got Angie from, or Agni. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with these names. Agnieszka, Siska. I'm not even going to try that one. That's really embarrassing. Is from New York. We have Atlanta in the house. This is so fun. I love this. We got Sandra from Seattle. So you're just a little bit further north of me. Oh, we have Becky from Clackamas. What's up, sister? You are like my neighbor. That's awesome. I'm just over the bridge from you. We got Tulsa, Oklahoma here. This is fantastic. I'm really, really enjoying all of this. Okay, fam. So let's talk core content. 10 secret strategies. They're not really secrets. Some of them might be, some of them may be new to you, some of them not so much. So, our first strategy when it comes to attracting your first organizing clients is to narrow down your niche, my friends. Narrowing down your niche. So let's talk a little bit about what that looks like. So a niche could be various different things. Some people think a niche is specializing in a certain type of space, like a kitchen or a closet. Sometimes people think niching is targeting a certain demographic, whether it's busy families or entrepreneurs or stay-at-home moms or people with ADHD. There really is various different ways that you can go about it, but the importance of having a niche is just the fact that you have one at all. And the sooner that you can determine your niche, the easier it's going to be. And I know that this is really, really difficult when you're first starting because you have so many things that you need to focus on when it comes to starting and running a successful organizing business. And niching may not be at the top of your list, but here's why it's important to try to narrow this down early. And this is going to come with my next, like, probably three to, well, honestly, it feeds into all of the 10 strategies that I'm going to share with you today. Because once you have an idea of who your target market is and what services you're going to provide, it's going to make your marketing easier. It's going to make what you put on your website easier. It's going to make your social media posting easier. It makes everything sort of just fall into place a little bit more seamlessly instead of trying to spaghetti test. Now, can your niche change over the course of your business? Absolutely. I think my niche has changed an embarrassing amount of times over the course of running my business. And that's okay because you will start to determine what it is that you actually like. You will for sure determine what you don't like, what aspects of running your business you don't like, the clients that you're not well suited to serve, or vice versa. And that will help you further refine. So you want to just think about, I was having a conversation with a coaching client yesterday, and she was really stuck on this point. And so we were just going through and I was asking her some questions about, what it is that she likes about organizing. What is it about the business? Why did you want to start this business in the first place? And so after some prodding for about 30 minutes, we were talking about the luxury organizing industry, and she just lights up. And she's talking about, how she loves the aesthetic, she loves the decor, she loves the seamless systemization of like matching bins and labels and everything having sort of like upscale luxury look. And I'm like, that is a great place to start. So finding out that the luxury organizing market was kind of the niche and the direction that she wanted to go, suddenly all the wheels were in motion at that point. We were out of two-wheel drive, we were in four-wheel drive at this point, and we were able to start talking about business name, mission statement, social media posts, SEO, website, all the things, because we had those key elements in place. So if I'm going to give you one additional example and kind of just bust an objection for this. So my company specializes in ADHD organizing strategies. And this came from the fact that I have ADHD. And over the course of time, I would get on the phone with lead after lead, and 99% of them are coming to us saying, I was just diagnosed with ADHD, or I've had ADHD my whole life. My son has it, this and that. Like some form of neurospiciness exists in their lives. And I'm like, this is a thing. And so we really started to dive into the needs of what people with ADHD need in order to have better executive function, in order to live a more organized life, because their brains work differently than neurotypical people. They need different organizing systems. There's different ways of helping people maintain their spaces than if you're neurotypical. Especially if organizing isn't your forte and that's not something you hyper focus on. So I needed to educate myself on it. I started working with therapists and talking to them about what their clients need. I started reading every single book. I started working on certification for ADHD organizing strategies. I now present topics around ADHD organizing strategies at all kinds of different organizing conferences around the nation. And that has been sort of what I've become known for in the organizing industry. It didn't start out that way, it evolved organically as I was really paying attention and thinking through what my clients actually needed. Okay. So, um, the only other analogy I can give you here is, and because this is a question that I get very frequently, is, well, I don't want to push people away. I feel like I'm going to narrow my chances of getting new business if I niche too soon. There is no such thing as niching too soon. I can tell you this, and from engaging in my own coaching and learning this the hard way over not taking that advice soon enough. You can be You don't want to be pizza, you don't want to be beige, you don't want to try to appeal to everybody, because your business is just going to get lost in the sea of everybody doing the same thing. Okay, you want to be authentic and true to yourself. And because there are so many organizers, and especially if you live in places like Florida or Texas or California, where professional home organizing is a pretty well established industry at this point, you're going to feel like you're drowning in a sea of organizers, and it's going to be hard to know how to set yourself apart. The easiest way to do that is to specialize in something, is to have a niche, is to have a direction, to solve a specific problem for a specific group of people, so that you become the go-to person. A cardiologist does not make any less money or have any less patients than a general practitioner does in the medical field, because somebody with a heart condition needs specific help with their heart. They're not going to be going to an OBGYN. They're not going to be going to an ophthalmologist or a gastroenterologist or whatever. They want help with their specific problem. So the sooner that you can start to think about how to offer that, the better. And the sooner you can dive into what people who need their garages organized look like. Are you going to be the go-to garage organizer of Detroit, Michigan? Are you going to be the go-to ADHD organizing specialist of Tulsa, Oklahoma? Who knows? If you need help with figuring out profitable niches in the area, obviously you can come and talk to me one-on-one. You can engage in questions in the free Facebook group. There's lots of different ways to figure this out. And I have quite a bit of an extensive training on finding what I call your zone of genius. So that's number one. And I am going to just pause real quick and see if we have any questions in regards to that specifically. Some of these we may kind of save until the end, because it looks like Ellen's got a pretty good question here about what she's sort of leaning into and some other stuff. So let's move into number 2. Secret strategy is creating a magnetic elevator pitch. And so when you are trying to convince people to hire you, you're not really trying to convince anybody to hire you, but when you're trying to talk about your business, it's important to know how to talk about your business, and it's important to be able to talk about it succinctly. Clarity over clever is really important when it comes to your elevator pitch. And I have a very simple script for how to do this, because when you go to a networking meeting, when you talk to somebody at the gym, when you meet somebody at your yoga class, when you're talking to somebody in line at the grocery store, you want to have the elevator pitch nailed down so that you can very clearly convey what you do and how you do it. So the elevator pitch essentially goes something like, "Hi, I'm your name." Then you tell your title and your specialty. If you have a niche, maybe at this point it's just, "I'm a professional organizer." That's very enticing for a lot of people. They're like, "Ooh, I didn't know that was a thing," or, "Ooh, I didn't know that that's what you did. I need you in my life." Like, how many times have you told somebody that you're a professional organizer and had them say something along the lines of, "I need you in my life," right? So after you give your name and your title, then you talk about your unique selling point or your niche. And then you can say something like, "I like to blank," which is going to be your mission or your passion. So again, thinking through what it is that you personally love about organizing. What is it that changed your life? What is it that helped you maintain a sense of calm? What is it about organizing that you like? Journal it out and think about it. And these fill in the blank prompts can really, really help. And so you can say, I like to, and then talk about what your mission or your passion is to give you the tools to give them a benefit or an outcome. And I like to give about 3 benefits or outcomes. So I like to do certain things. So, for instance, just to make this all kind of come together, I'll give you what my current mission statement is. Because again, these things can change as your business grows and changes. Your mission statement from the beginning is not going to be the same as maybe it is 5 years down the line, and that's okay. So, my current mission statement is, hi, I'm Melanie Summers, professional organizer, ADHD organizing specialist, and your go-to gal for all things pro organizing business. I like to speak organized to give you the tools to conquer your clutter, live life with more purpose, and learn all about the business of tidying. Okay. You can obviously tell that I have said that over and over and over and over and over again on all of my YouTube videos and my podcast episodes. So it is well formulated. It is ingrained in there. I can rattle that ish off to anybody. Okay. Obviously. So I say my name, I'm Melanie Summers. My title is I'm a professional organizer and I specialize in ADHD organizing strategies. So I throw that in there. I used to say that I was a productivity coach or a productivity consultant because that was a term that goes really well with trying to help people with executive function. And I realized later on that productivity is not as big of a buzz phrase as ADHD organizing or ADHD strategies. Like people with ADHD, like that term gets people's attention. Productivity, sometimes, like it depends. So again, like that's why you kind of like want to shop this stuff around and see what piques people's interest and then grab onto that and put it into your mission statement or your elevator pitch. So I talk about being an ADHD organizing specialist. And then because I'm also an organizing coach, I'm your go-to gal for all things pro organizing business. I love to teach. That's my gift, is teaching people how to run successful businesses in a way that they are best suited for, not according to what necessarily works for me, but I like to help you figure out what your superpower is so that you can run your business the way that you want. It's all about you. You see what I'm doing here? So I am your go-to gal for all things pro organizing business. I like to, so my passion is speaking organized. That was very clear to me when I started my business. That was why I named my business what it did, because I knew it wasn't just going to be a business to offer in-home organizing services. I knew I wanted to teach classes. I knew I wanted to have my podcast and my YouTube channel. That was all part of it kind of from the beginning. So I like to speak and teach. So I speak organized to give you the tools to conquer your clutter, live life with more purpose, and learn about the business of tidying. So those are the 3 benefits and outcomes of what I do. So hopefully that kind of helps make some sense for you. Again, if you're a member of my coaching community, if you have ever taken a course from me, you're going to get access to workbooks that have this framework in there so that you can go through and do these exercises on your own. But even if you just go back and listen to this and take notes, you can write down and kind of build your own template. Okay, so have that phrase nailed down as your elevator pitch. Number 3, leverage social proof. Okay, so this one isn't as difficult as it seems. All right. Leveraging social proof is simply just discussing with friends and family what you want to do and asking for testimonials after free or discounted projects. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I am not a proponent of working for free. Okay. Like limit the amount of pro bono work that you do for somebody. I would even argue to say that it's best to even do it in your own home first. Even if you are like, but Melanie, my home is already so organized, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Like when it comes to creating content, or you can reorganize the system, there's always a way to tweak and refine or try something new. So if you're going to go the free friends and family route, do like 3 very different projects, like do a garage and a bathroom and like a pantry or something, so that you kind of have the gamut and to understand what it is to organize 3 very different spaces with 3 very different levels of inventory necessary to complete the project. Or maybe you want to do like a file organizing project. Again, like that could be a niche. Maybe you work with estate planners and you help people with legacy planning and building their, like kits of important documents that can never be destroyed, like the deed to the house and the marriage license and the death certificate, the birth certificate, and all that stuff. Like, you help them organize their paperwork. And so that could be an example of a niche. So developing your social proof, again, getting those testimonials, that's the big piece of this. And I had a client who took my Overbooked course last spring, and she was very discouraged because she only had one review. And she was like, all I have is this one. I can't just share this and everything. And my first thought to her was, A, why not? Why can't you share that one thing? And B, when we took a look at the review, it was quite long, like it was lengthy. So this is my favorite little secret hack for this. Okay. Take one review and chunk it out into multiple sections, because most people, like if you plaster like three very lengthy reviews on your website, and it says something like, client love, or this is, our clients love working with us, and then you're going to make people sit there and read the whole review, like especially my clients or my leads in particular who have ADHD, ain't nobody sitting there reading that stuff. Like, it's too long. We want just the little snippets that display how awesome you are, or what they loved about working with you, or what you did to this one specific area. So take little snippets of that entire testimonial, break it up, and then sprinkle it throughout your website or your social media if you want to feature that as a post on social media or something like that. That is my absolute favorite tip in building social proof, especially if you don't have before and after photos. If you don't have before and after photos, an after photo goes a very long way. So even if your home is beautifully organized, figuring out how to properly light a space, go on YouTube, watch a 3-minute video about how to light a space for a shot, take a picture of your beautifully organized linen closet and post it as your work. That is work that you've done. That is social proof that you are an expert at organizing, and you haven't even set foot in a client's home yet. Okay. I also really advocate for, as soon as possible, setting up your Google business profile so that as you're getting those pieces of social proof, they're going into your Google reviews. Don't let that go to waste. Even if it is a free or discounted project, that is still a job that you've done that somebody can review, and it's legitimate. So have that person leave you a Google review. So you go to google.com/business or whatever it happens to be. You set up your Google business profile. It needs to be connected to your website. We're going to talk about that in a second. If you guys have questions about that, please feel free to pop them in the chat. But don't let those pieces of social proof go to waste. So if you found that helpful, go ahead and type in the chat social proof wins for me. And then let's go on and talk about number 4, which is offering free mini trainings or lessons. This is one of my personal favorite go-to strategies. If you're somebody who isn't a huge fan of presenting, this one may or may not be for you. That's why I offer 10 strategies, because you don't need to use all of these in order to attract new clients. These are just 10 very different ways. A lot of them work hand in hand, but you don't have to utilize all of them. I love offering free mini trainings and lessons because it's another form of social proof. Like, for me to do this live stream for you, this is a free mini training. This shows you that I am passionate about helping people in the organizing industry. It shows you that I do know what I'm talking about to a certain degree, and that I care about the success of your business, because I really do. All of those things are very true. And so this is a way for me to very clearly demonstrate that to my audience by showing up for you and devoting my personal time to being able to do that. That goes a long way in business. And so for you to be able to do that for your potential clients and show them how much passion you have for organizing, how much passion you have to help them, it shows your servant's heart. It shows, it gives you an opportunity to showcase your strategies. So just think about it that way. Instead of thinking about being shy, you don't like to get up in front of people or this or that, it can be a more intimate setting. It could be amongst friends. One of the most fun ways to introduce your business and kind of give back in your community is to host a clothing swap. That's a super easy one. You can invite all of your friends over to sort of swap clothes and try new styles and things. And it's fun. Maybe have a few glasses of wine, maybe have a few more glasses of wine, and then use that as your ability to get up and talk a little bit about your business and offer some tips about wardrobe refresh, or you can talk about like how to rotate your clothing seasonally and things like that. And then you have little prizes for people, you have little freebies, little giveaways, business cards, whatever, something cute and fun and memorable that you can give to them, to help them remember you and maybe want to hire you or refer you to somebody who could really use your help. Every single time I do a speaking engagement or a mini workshop or a training, people come up to me afterwards. At least one person is crying because, XYZ family member like really needs their help and this is the answer to their prayers or what have you. Somebody walks away feeling super inspired to go and tackle it themselves, at which point I have like a checklist available for them that I can hand over that has a QR code with my business information on it, so that when they get really frustrated and decide they need professional help, hello, here we are, we're here for you. All those different things. So people really do resonate with that stuff, and it is very rewarding and fun. So just think about what it is that you like to do. Do you like the Marie Kondo method of folding, of file folding? Are you going to do a training session on that and then offer a free laundry routine printable at the end of it? Give them something fun to take away. And that is a really, really great way to do that. One of the easiest ways to get into doing that, there's two that I really like. One is to contact MOPS, the Mothers of Preschoolers. It's a national organization. There's going to be a lot of stay-at-home moms there. There's going to be maybe some working moms here and there, but you can go and just present on a topic. It could be about anything. I do MOPS presentations probably like once a month around the area. And they will ask you to come back. You can't technically promote anything to them, but people are going to ask you anyway. People ask me all the time, well, what's your rate, whatever, this and that. So I do provide material for them. I don't automatically hand it out at the end of the session, but if people ask, I will give it to them. So just have things available. The other thing that you could do is partner up with an organizing bestie. Like find somebody on Instagram that you've met that's in a similar stage of business. Even if you don't want to do it with somebody local, I actually do recommend partnering up with other local organizers. I was talking to my project manager about doing that with another organizer friend of ours in the area and offering a joint workshop where we rent out a community center space and we sell tickets to learn about whatever. We have somebody who specializes in senior downsize and move management, somebody who specializes in ADHD organizing strategies, and then our project manager could do something about baskets and bins and what the best systems are to use. And then you have a very well-rounded presentation workshop to deliver, and you are cross promoting each other's businesses. And when you do things like that, it actually opens up a whole world of possibilities for all three of the people involved in that scenario. Okay, so let's talk about number 5. Number 5 secret strategy for attracting your first clients is building a portfolio. Easier said than done. We already kind of talked about this one a little bit. There is a lot of power to before and after photos, and it can be really hard to get those if you're brand new and you don't have any clients yet, or in a lot of cases, if you have clients that don't want their mess being put online. So even an after photo does wonders for your portfolio because it shows the potential of what is possible in a space. So again, use your own home, just like we talked about a couple of tips earlier. That is a perfect way to showcase your skill set, is to do that. You can also even go so far as to put lookbooks together or Pinterest boards of certain aesthetics that you like, and then present those to clients and ask them, which one of these aligns with your organizing style the best. We use a lot of before and after photos on the back end, um, when we are talking to new leads by saying, hey, this was an idea that my project manager came up with last week. And so we want to show them pictures of, certain garages at different levels of disorganization and say, here's where this project started, here's where it ended up, and here's how long it took us, and things like that, to just kind of help them with the onboarding process, to have more realistic expectations when it comes to the how long the process is going to take and how much it's going to cost and all of this different stuff. So there's various different ways that you can use that portfolio, um, other than just blasting it on social media. So those are two examples. Another thing that works really, really well in building a portfolio is showcasing it on social media, again, using your own home. Time lapses are really, really powerful, of showing in real time, just sped way, way up, how you do the dishes or how you put your house to bed at night. Like showing people a day in the life routine goes a really long way. And it's a very easy piece of content to create that builds your portfolio, because ultimately that's what social media is for a lot of people in the organizing world. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it. As somebody who is a professionally paid content creator, um, that's something that you can take my social media method course and learn a little bit more about the place that social media holds in your business. But um, for me and for a lot of people starting out, it serves as the perfect place to showcase your expertise in your portfolio. And there's various different ways that you can do that, including being a faceless brand. Like it's really all about leveraging your strengths, and we'll talk about that in a second. So those are a couple of different ways to build your portfolio. I'm sure we can talk about other ways as well. Number 6 is to network locally. So this is something that a lot of people overlook when it comes to trying to attract clients. You think that you need to go where your clients are and be where your clients are and hang out where your clients hang out and all of this. And like, no, no, no. Like, I mean, yes, but that's more difficult. If you're not great with sales and selling direct to consumer is hard for you and makes you feel like a sleazy used car salesman from the 1980s, and like you're chasing people down in the parking lot, because we all have had those experiences. And I don't want anybody to take offense to this, because I have participated in MLMs before. But we all have had experiences with people that are really aggressive with sales in a multi-level marketing business, and like chase you out into the parking lot, like trying to get you to like sign up for XYZ. And we just, having had those experiences, don't want to be that person. So networking locally is your best friend, because you get to pitch your business, but you get to pitch it to another business owner who is also trying to make a living. And so it makes it easier. You're entering into an arena, into an environment where selling is okay, where it's expected, where it is encouraged, where it's necessary, quite frankly. And it's more about like mutual back scratching at that point. So in order for networking to be effective, you can't go into it. And this is where a lot of people kind of fall short in this. And they say to me, like, well, Melanie, I'm doing all that stuff. Like, I'm going to the meetings and I signed up for this group, and I'm making the phone calls and this and that. And then we start to uncover what it is they're doing and what their mindset is behind the networking. And if you go into networking with the mindset of what's in it for me, you ain't going to get anything out of it, because it's all about what's in it for them. And that also goes for when you're marketing directly to clients. What is in it for them? What are they going to get? Not what am I offering? What are you going to get from working with me? So that is where networking becomes really, really effective. And because the sales environment is necessary, you get to practice your sales skills and you get to ask questions. It's definitely more of a give and take moment. It's not like you're trying to take money from a client, because that's sometimes how it can feel to somebody who is about ready to cough up $3,000 for you to come in and organize their sock drawer, right? Like that's what a lot of people think. So think about this. Who are the people that are already working with your ideal client? So remember when we went way back, like 30 minutes ago, talking about niching. This is why niching is so important, you guys, because if you know your ideal client, you're going to know who they're already working with. You're going to know what services they need. You're going to know what problems they have. So all of these things just come pouring out and it makes it so much easier. So you'll be able to easily answer the question of who is already working with my ideal client. So let's say that you want to specialize in move management. You want to help people with packing their homes and decluttering and downsizing, and then facilitating the unpacking and setup of their new home. So you're going to do some sort of like move concierge thing that's very popular in the organizing industry as of like the last 5 years. It's like all anybody ever wants to talk about. Okay. I digress. So let's say that's something that you want to engage in. You ask yourself, who is already working with these clients that need to move? Well, target demographic probably could be baby boomers or seniors, people that have lived in homes for a really long time. If you like working with seniors, and that feels like it speaks to your heart and your passion and your expertise, there's a good target market for you. Who's already working with those people? Maybe assisted living facilities. If they're already in an assisted living facility or they're getting ready to go into, you want to try and talk to that sales director, the people that are trying to get them in. Maybe you want to talk to the entertainment director about coming and doing a workshop about legacy planning, planning for the future, something like that. Maybe you want to talk to realtors, home stagers, home builders. Like you will be able to come up with so many different people to network with. So and again, like these people, like realtors, if you establish a good relationship with a realtor in your area, or maybe you know somebody, you guys can refer business back and forth to each other, that you can become their go-to organizer. And once you have fulfilled a successful job on their behalf and helped them get their commission, helped them sell their home faster and at a higher price, then they're just going to keep coming back to you over and over and over again. Same thing with interior designers. If you help their clients declutter and organize their spaces to make their jobs easier, they're always going to refer you first. So think about who you can network with. And then how you do that, is there's various different ways. I can give you an example of something that one of my coaching clients did. She and not everybody's going to be comfortable with this again, but I really think that this is one of those circumstances where you should just put on your big girl and big boy pants and suck it up and just go for it, because again, the sales process here it doesn't feel as gross once you do it. You're not really going to get very far sending emails. Maybe if you sent out like 500, you'll get, I don't know, 5 replies or something. It's a numbers game with stuff like this. So emails can be effective, but you really have to be extremely persistent about it because our inboxes are always so full. Really, the best way to network is to do it in person. So one of my clients made little like cellophane gift bags with candy in it, and she had a little tag on there that had just, I don't even know what it was exactly, but it was just such a cute little saying, like, how sweet it would be to let us, declutter for you, or something like that. It was much better worded than what I just said. Anyway, so she did that. She made all of these little satchels. She got in her car, and this person is not extroverted. This is not somebody who likes to get up on stage in front of people, is not super into networking. But again, she put on her big girl pants and she did it. And what she found was she made really good connections. Nobody shoved her out the door saying thanks, but no thanks. None of that. Everybody's always, who doesn't like candy, And even if you say you don't like candy, like you like the gesture or whatever. So it was refreshing, it was inspiring, it was a relief to her to see how easy it was to just pop into these offices, completely cold call, essentially, drop off that candy and talk a little bit about her business. And then from there, there are different ways to leverage that. You can partner up with them and do social media cross promotion. You can get with them on LinkedIn to follow up. You can speak at one of their uh, monthly meetings that they have, where all the realtors get together and talk about the trends in the industry, and they have a guest speaker, and you could be that guest speaker. I do that all the time, and it is very, very useful for getting in the door. But again, think about what's in it for them, not for you. If you go into this scenario thinking, what do I get out of this? It's not going to work out for you. It has to be about what is going to make their lives easier. What can I offer them that's going to make them want to work with me? And ultimately, in using the example of realtors, it's helping them sell their homes faster and at higher prices. So how are your services going to help them do that? If you can show them very clearly how that happens, they're going to be your best referral buddy. Okay. Network locally. Man, that's a good, powerful one that everybody overlooks. Number 7, utilize social media effectively. All right. This is one of my absolute favorite topics because a lot of my business is on social media. So share. Um, there's really no right or wrong way to. Well, there are wrong ways to do it, but there are. Let me rephrase. There are so many different ways to do this right, to do social media right. And there are a lot of folks out there that claim that you got to follow this strategy or that strategy. And the reality is you have to know your insights. You have to know what works for you. And the only way you're going to figure that out is if you just put stuff out there and see what resonates with people. And you have to be consistent. And even if you're putting out consistent crap for a while, it's really not that big of a deal because you can still extrapolate patterns from your insights. So, um, again, knowing your niche, your target demographic is super important because if you're just a professional organizer with a professional organizing business social media platform, you're not really going to get much leverage there. Having a presence with a very specific message like ADHD organizing strategies, for instance, or um, photo memorabilia and organizing strategies, or just things like that. You can't just be like a travel blogger. There's millions of travel bloggers. It has to be something specific. Maybe you're a travel blogger that reviews the best beaches in the world or something like that, so that when somebody has a specific problem, they're like, oh, I don't know what beach to go to. Like, they know that there's like the beach gal on Instagram that they can follow, and then they can download her, best beaches guide for 2025, and then suddenly they end up as a member of her, travel agency where, her team like books you amazing vacations for less than the price of a Costco trip or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it kind of evolves. So having a niche is extremely important on social media. Knowing how to use your insights is really important. And the easiest way to know what your audience wants to see is to ask them, plain and simple. You'll notice in my Facebook group, that is another form of social media engagement, is my Facebook group. It is a free resource for everybody. It is a big community hub. It's meant for you to get the answers to the questions that you have as quickly as possible when I'm not always available to answer that. It is a hugely awesome resource that I am honored to offer you. And in that group, you'll notice that I ask questions. Like, for instance, about this live stream that we're doing right now, I polled people and said, which of these 5 topics do you want? And this was by far the top, like, most voted topic that people wanted to see. And so that's what we're doing. So you can do the same thing on any of your social media platforms. One, I guess, idea or rule I would say about this is figuring out, where your target demographic likes to hang out. So a lot of, I mean, this again does change and shift over time. There are more baby boomers on TikTok now than there used to be 5 years ago, but TikTok could be going away. We don't know. There's so much drama and all these things. But primarily, if you're working with seniors, most of them are going to be on Facebook. If you're working with entrepreneurs, most of them are going to be on LinkedIn, stuff like that. So just knowing more or less where your target demographic hangs out, that's honestly probably where you should be devoting most of your time, is where your target demo is hanging out. And then asking them questions, because again, it's not about you. It's not about like, it's not always about like, oh, look at this beautiful pantry that I did. Like, people like that stuff, but you can't just only post that like once every couple of weeks, like on a random Tuesday or whatever. Like, there does need to be some strategy there. So again, knowing your insights is so important. Looking at your insights and saying, okay, this post right here got a lot more views than this one did. And this post right here got a lot more comments than this one did. And then you analyze it and say, why is that? What is the type of content? So for me, when I analyze my insights, for better or for worse, and I don't necessarily like this, but like, people love my posts where I'm dancing. Okay. I used to be a professional ballet dancer. That was in my past. So that is a skill set that I have. The lesson here is not to tell you that you need to get your butt up and start dancing around like a crazy person to be successful on social media. That is not what I'm saying. And I get really annoyed when people think that's what I'm saying, because I'm not. What I'm saying is utilize your skill set and analyze what is working for you, and then do more of that. That's what works for me. And I don't always like doing that, but I know that when I have an important message to get out, or when I'm doing a launch of some kind. So over the next couple of weeks, if you like my dancing posts, because I'm promoting my new Empowered Organizer membership program for new and aspiring organizers, you're going to see a lot of me dancing. It's just what it is, because that's what works on my channel and in my social media sphere. So just as a general blanket rule of thumb, when you're looking at your insights, ask questions, use polls and quizzes. Those are extremely effective in determining what type of content to put out there on your social media. It doesn't all have to be before and afters. Looking at your insights and driving forward more content that people actually like seeing from you, and just being strategic about it. So the other thing that people generally gravitate to are statistics and data. Like, you'll see a lot of posts come up about things like, did you know that the average home has 300,000 items in it? Like, people love stuff like that. Psychologically, I don't really know why. We like statistics and data. So one of the things that I like to do, and I'll share my screen with you for a second to show you this cool tool. Share screen. Where's it at? Google Alerts, right? So I love this tool. If you go to google.com/alerts, you can create an alert about anything. And so what this does is it will automatically search for a term for you, and it will email you the results each and every evening. So because I'm a public speaker, I'm always looking for speaking gigs, right? I also write a lot of content for different publications. And so I want to know when those publications are out so that I can promote them on my site. Like, if I wrote for The Spruce or Real Simple or something, I Speak Organized or Melanie Summers will come into the alerts, and that way I'll know, like, oh, the article was published, and now I can go and send that to my social media manager and she can write a post about it or whatever. So you can set, like, let's say that your niche is ADHD organizing. just as another example, and you want to start gathering data and statistics and trends, and you want to be on the up and up with that, you can plug in like ADHD trends or something, and then say create an alert, and then you can prioritize, how often you get alerts about it. You can really kind of like narrow this down as much as you want as to how you get that information, so on and so forth. You can obviously delete or edit any of these at any time. So if you don't want an alert anymore, you want to change it, you definitely can. But in terms of coming up with content that's relevant to your niche and staying on top of the trends and presenting that information first, this is such a valuable tool. So definitely go in on that. I want to show you one other thing that I was privy to as of this morning. This is really cool. So ChatGPT has a new function. If you don't pay for ChatGPT yet as a business owner, once you start generating some revenue to afford a business expense like this, like it's not even that expensive. It's like $20 a month. Like, I would highly suggest going for it. And I'll show you one of the new features that just popped up here um, for ChatGPT. So I have a paid account. So I have access to various different GPT models. The newest one that was just released is called scheduled tasks. So this is one of those things where if you're wanting to check your insights on various social media platforms, you can ask ChatGPT to set up a reoccurring task reminder to actually go and analyze your insights and then present a report to you about it. So if you want to know, like they even give you prompts here, so you can hit analyze data. Help me understand trends in my data. Look, it's like right there. Help me create a bar chart. So you can start a prompt here and it will give you examples. Do you need help with your sales figures? Do you need survey responses, specific metrics, time ranges, whatever? So you can ask it to actually analyze your data for you. So even if you don't know how to do that, ChatGPT can do it for you and give you succinct results like people really love your dancing posts and they're most active on Tuesdays between the hours of 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. And so that gives you your social media strategy right there. So that's one of those things that I highly recommend looking into if you haven't done that yet, and how to utilize. I could literally talk about social media effectiveness all day long, as you can probably tell, but we need to keep going. So, number 8, create a simple website. It is alarming to me how many coaching clients I work with that ask me the question, is a website necessary? It is necessary, and it's so easy to make. And yes, you can have profiles on Thumbtack or Facebook, you can have business pages, this and that set up, but you need a home base for people to come to learn about your business. And it's the easiest format to very succinctly show what you are, what you offer, how it works, how much it's going to cost, give them a ballpark, how to contact you easily. And the most important aspect of having a website is your SEO. It all works together. Your search engine optimization is so, so important, because think about it like this. What is the first thing that you do when you want to find a Chinese restaurant, or you want to find a new hairdresser, or your dog needs to go to the vet or something? You go to Google. People, like, think about what we do as consumers. Put yourself in the consumer's shoes for a minute. There's so much data on this. Like, that is primarily what people do. People are on social media to be social. They are not there to become your clients. That's why people have to use pixels to target you. That's why people think that your phone is always listening to you and things like that. Those platforms are so smart that they analyze. That's what cookies are for. I mean, I could go off on this, but like that's why people think their phone is listening to them and things like that, because there are little pieces of code in place that monitor how you interact with the device so that they can serve you the ads. Like that is how people that sell stuff on social media have to do it most of the time. Yes, you will get leads and sales from time to time through social media, but as a in-person service-based business, majority of the time it's going to be coming from Google, which means that your website needs to exist and it needs to be search engine optimized. It needs to have keywords on it all throughout in a very specific manner, and not too much and not too little. If you want to learn more about that, honestly, my best resource for that is my Overlooked to Overbooked course. I have an entire module on SEO, and it's extremely thorough and extremely detailed, and it would take too long to go into all of that right now. So just go take that course if you want to learn about this. But in general, SEO is very important. The best way to build it is through your website. Google also owns YouTube. That's why I have a YouTube channel, because my YouTube content gets pushed ahead of my website in certain cases. Same thing with the podcast. Google used to have Google Podcasts. Guess who bought Google Podcasts? It was, now it's under the YouTube umbrella. So they're all like nice and cozy and friends, and they're hanging out. So SEO is super, super important. And that is my business, is my in-person organizing business. That is my number one strategy for getting new leads. I get several very hot qualified leads every single week from Google because of the way that my website is linked to my Google business profile, how my form is set up, how my SEO is working for me, so that I don't have to spend a ton of money on marketing. I don't have to go to a ton of networking meetings if I don't want to. I don't really want to spend all my time driving around talking to realtors anymore, and things like that. So I can really kind of let that stuff take a back seat, or use those in those times when my business is slow and Google's not doing the work for me. But in reality, for the most part, like, we have so many leads coming in because of Google for free that I barely have the opportunity to keep up with it. So you can see how important that is. And you can see how passionate I am about it. And I just want to, like, if I could shake you gently and lovingly through the camera, I would. Like, this is a super important strategy. And in order for it to work, you need a website. Okay. So they're very easy to build. My favorite platform is Squarespace, in case you were wondering. You can build websites on Canva. You can build sites on Google. Google Sites is a free tool that you can use. You just pay for the domain name and off you go. But Squarespace is like anywhere from like $100 to $150 per year. Well worth it. Very easy, drag and drop, able to update all the things, blah, blah, blah. Get yourself a website. Okay. Number 9, use referral incentives. So this is a super important one. The easiest people, my 4-year-old has just come to join us for a second. The easiest people to sell to are people that have already bought from you. So I love referral programs, and we run them on a quarterly promotional basis. So this is a way to re-engage with clients who maybe have lost a little bit of steam and they fell off. They're like, oh, I'll contact you after Girl Scout cookie season. And spoiler alert, they never do. You can re-engage them with a referral offer. So they get $50 off their next session if they book with you, if one of the people they refer comes to you and that person gets $25 off or something like that. You can figure out the terms of your referral program, but we find that the most effective way to run a referral program is through quarterly promotions, where we send out the emails, or we send out text messages to former clients, just letting them know, like, this or that or the other thing. So running quarterly promotions for your referral program is very, very helpful and useful. If you have questions about that, again, you can ask me. Number 10, because I'm trying to, like, we're reaching the hour mark here, is to join local community groups. Okay, so this is kind of like networking, but it's networking on a regular and consistent basis. So this is joining the Chamber of Commerce. This is engaging in local Facebook groups. And I'm not talking like local moms groups. I'm talking about local community groups of people that are interested in what's going on in the community. A lot of people have success with Nextdoor. I never have. So I just abandoned ship with that one. I gave it the good old college try for like 6 months, posted consistently. Didn't really get much traction, but there are other people that do really well on that platform. I like in-person community groups where you go, like even a BNI, like if you can get either you or a team member to go to that weekly meeting every Thursday morning at 8 o'clock at that coffee shop, like those relationships are such gold for many different reasons. One of which being that you have cross promotion opportunities. So again, thinking about what's in it for them based on my skill set. I like to teach. I love giving workshops. I love delivering useful, powerful information. So I teamed up with my realtor friend through one of our networking community groups to offer a social media course, like a workshop, to other realtors. So a lot of the information that I present to organizers works for anybody's business. And so obviously, like, she was like, we love what you talk about with social media, this and that. Would you be willing to put together a workshop? And I was like, yes, sign me up yesterday. Let's do it. And so she did a ton of promoting and got a bunch of realtor people to come. I got some of my, interior design folks. Like you need to get out there and join in the community of other home service providers so that you have a network of people so that you can provide value to those people. Because not only am I providing them useful tips on social media, I'm also getting to promote my organizing business and getting phone calls from these people saying, hey, like, can your team help this client get ready to sell their house and move to Amsterdam or whatever, this and that? It's such gold. It gives you an opportunity to practice your mission statement and your elevator pitch as well. Because as a member of those groups, a lot of times you have to stand up and like give your speech. So if you know that you need to do more networking and you need to go to these events, this is a perfect kind of safe small group environment to practice that. Whether it be in a Facebook group where you perfect how you talk about your business, whether it be going to a BNI style group where you have to stand up and say, like, give your elevator pitch. You can ask for feedback in that environment. Um, you can give these people your marketing materials, everything from your business card to door hangers to whatever. I've made little booklets with move management checklists in them to help realtors with their clients who are having trouble staying on task, on a schedule to pack and get ready for their move. So we have a checklist all laid out for them. And of course, all throughout that are tips and resources and information about how to get in touch with our business. And so again, that's me thinking, what does that client need in that moment? It's not just about me, like, here's my business card. Cause like, what do you do with a business card? Everybody just throws them in the trash. Like, let's be real. So you need to be a little bit more savvy about with what you're creating in terms of a marketing and promotional material. And those community groups are great ways to distribute those marketing materials and make sure that they land in the hands of your ideal client in the moment that they need them. You see where I'm going with all this? Right. Okay. So join those groups. Man, that was a long-winded training. Hopefully it was very, very helpful. Um, I want to go into the Q&A here. So I'm going to be looking at some of the chat comments. I want to see what you guys are asking. So if you have questions, start popping them in the chat here. Before we go into that, I want to make a few announcements, of course, because I want to make sure that you guys are up to speed. You know that part of the reason why I'm offering 2 live streams this month is because I am promoting the open of enrollment to my Empowered Organizer membership program. Okay, so this is really kind of geared more towards newer organizers. If you've been around the block a little bit and you're looking for a group of people to engage with on a regular monthly basis and receive similar style training from me, again, like, you can always learn new stuff, even if you have learned it somewhere else before. there is a way that I might deliver the content, or a conversation that we might have, or a person that you might meet in that membership program that will totally turn something on its head, and finally it will make sense to you. So I encourage you to go and check it out. Enrollment is open right now. If you're watching this live stream and you're inside of the live training portal, you can actually click that link right there on my face and go to the website and learn all about the Empowered Organizer membership, what you get. I'll show you. Let's see. I don't even know if I have that web page pulled up, but I will show you the online courses page. If you go to ispeakorganize.com/courses, you'll be able to come here and see all of these different options. So here is the Empowered Organizer membership training portal. So you can hit the join now button. You can read through all this information. You can kind of see what's included. I have a pretty extensive list of topics here, just different things that we will be working through. We talk through business setup and legalities, marketing and client acquisition, different types of technology and business processes. We talk about mindset stuff. We talk about pricing and service structures, niching and branding, all of the things that we kind of touched on earlier today that are very kind of long, involved topics that you probably will need some ongoing support through in order to be able to do it effectively and do it in a way that really resonates with you and your personal needs. This is a really good fit for you. It's super affordable, $69 a month. You can cancel anytime that you want. It's kind of like Netflix, you can join us when you want and take advantage of the training. And then when you have other obligations or life gets really busy, you can cancel at any time and rejoin us. So here's a list of the modules. So we talk about business foundations, we talk about business names, structures, LLCs, your brand identity. We talk about everything from client agreements to label makers, mastering pricing and packages. I will be going through 2.0 versions of my Overlooked to Overbooked course. So this is all about how to get clients. So it's a huge expansion on everything that we talked about today. Client conversations from first contract to final agreement. So I talk you through onboarding processes. I give you sales scripts. Like I have taken examples of how I sell a client from seed to sale over the phone without even setting foot in their home. And I have it all transcribed into several different versions of that sales script that you can pretty much plug and play in your own business when you're learning how to acclimate to selling. Social media savvy, so I can really take you through all of my training on social media. Bins and baskets, we talk about product. I work with a bunch of different brands, and so I can teach you guys a little bit more about how to find brand partnerships as another form of revenue for you, because it can be extremely lucrative, especially when times are slow. It's really nice to get that extra, one or 2K from a business partner, just simply for promoting their products on your social media. And I can show you how to do that. And then of course, we can nerd out about all different types of products and things like that. And then of course, Organized Minded Body is all about mastering self-care. So as I'm sure you know, with my background in dance, I am able to kind of help you learn a little bit more about how to take care of your body, how to lift things properly, when to know how to outsource certain tasks. I'm really passionate about healthy eating. Like all of these things are things that I don't necessarily promote outwardly through the course because it's stuff that I know you need, but it's not necessarily something you know you need. And so it's just there for you as an additional resource, because ultimately my goal with anybody who's an empowered organizer is to make sure that you have everything necessary to run a successful 6 or 7 figure business, including being able to stay fit and healthy, so that you minimize the chances of something bad happening to you or getting injured on the job and then suddenly you're out, or you're getting sick. And because a lot of times when you're starting your business, you're doing everything by yourself, and if you're out, you're not making any money. So my goal is to keep you healthy, keep you in the fight, and teach you all of those different strategies that you need to be successful. So definitely go to melanieSummersCoaching.com/empowered-organizer to check that out. If that's too hard to remember, just go to my courses page, Melanie Summers, or I'm sorry, this one's ispeakorganized.com/courses. That has all that information there. One other thing I wanted to draw your attention to on my website is a new page that I just put up with on-demand trainings. So for those of you that don't want to join the Empowered Organizer membership, but you want to maybe have access to the training on your own terms, you can go here to ispeakorganized.com/video trainings. This is where you get access to on-demand trainings for professional organizers. So we've done a couple already. We had the business planning session for 2025. You have access to this training there. You can snag the resources that go with it. We did one with my friend Kirsten talking about LLCs, EINs, business banking accounts, credit cards, all that fun stuff. You can purchase these trainings at one-offs for $27 a piece. And that includes all the resources that come along with those trainings. So if you don't want to join the membership, but you're interested in some of the topics that we're going to be doing, this is all part of the vault. And if you are an Empowered Organizer member, you get access to all of this training included in your membership. So these are all extra trainings in additions to the ones that are already planned that you are going to get access to. So again, be sure to go and check all that out. Okay. Now that we've talked about all of that, let me go ahead and stop share my screen, and I'm going to go through and look at some of these questions here. All right. Ellen. She is saying, trying to lean into her niche. Busy professionals, more specifically busy professional women, primarily those who want a done-for-you service, luxury service level. Okay, good. Oh, I see. So you're just kind of like showcasing some different strategies for what you're thinking in terms of niche. This is really great. I'm going to pull this back up again for a second. So done for you service. This is a really good thing I think that Ellen brought up, which is great. This is something that you can offer as part of a niche. Like that's a thing, done with you organizing versus done for you. That is an example of part of your niche that a certain target demographic might really like luxury organizing industry people. Maybe they're super busy. They don't want to be involved in the process. They just want a turnkey experience, somebody to come in and do it for them. That is a done for you service. Melanie, let's see what this one says here. Will you please post your elevator pitch script in the comments? Absolutely. Let me scroll up to my notes and grab it. Bear with me here, folks. Here it is. I'll even post my version. How's that sound? So then you have both. I'll post it here and on Facebook. Okay. Hold tight. Here it comes on Facebook. Well, bam. There you go. All right. So take that, do with it what you will. Do you suggest memorizing? Okay, yeah, this is a great question. Jamie is asking, I stumbled. Do you suggest memorizing it? You just made it flow so nicely. I mean, yeah, I would say until you get more comfortable talking about your business, I find the more passionate you are about what you're saying, the easier it is to kind of let the words flow. I think back to the times when I first started my YouTube channel. And I took I did a challenge years ago with my girl Holly Sutherland, who I'm sure many of you know. She did a training about going live in your Facebook group. And I was so unbelievably awkward. I remember trying to film one of my first YouTube videos. And at the time I was doing more lifestyle content, and I was trying to do an unboxing video of a Grove, the Grove cleaning supplies that you get. And I I saw the recording of that video and I watched it and I cried and I was like, I'm not cut out for this. And I put off my YouTube channel for an additional year at that point. And it's funny to me to think back to that and now see myself where I am now as a professional public speaker. And I'm like, if I can go from that to where I am now, like, first of all, high five. Second of all, like, anyone can do that. Okay. Like, yes, I know I had a background in performance, but dance is very different than speaking. Like, it's just a completely different part of your brain. And I like formulating words it's just not my forte. I have ADHD. So, and I tend to ramble if you haven't noticed. So, yes, I would suggest practicing it and having it somewhat memorized so that you can rattle it off until you become more comfortable. And as you become more comfortable and more passionate about what you're talking about, you'll feel better about going off the cuff. Okay, here's another question. If you use a snippet and sprinkle it, do you put the name each time? Because then the name would be the same. Like your business name? Or the niche? I mean, will you clarify your question for me, Ellen, so that I don't go off on too many different things. I'm going to go on to the next one and come back to that. Yes. Oh, I love this. You guys are awesome. You're coming in with all kinds of stuff. Okay. Here's a question. There's still no way to do polls on business social media page, right? It would only be in a group. I think that's true. There's a way to do it on Instagram. Instagram is probably the easiest social media platform to do that. If you don't have a group, you can do polls. You can have people vote on posts. I know my friend Marisa from Mac Mom Organizing in New Jersey does that on like almost all of her posts, and she gets a ton of engagement from doing that. And her primary social media platform is Instagram, so I know you can do it on there. I don't think you can do it in business pages, but honestly, I recommend starting a Facebook group of some kind for your business as soon as possible. It's one of those things that I really wish I had done sooner. And I love our Facebook group, the I Speak Organized social media network, whatever we're calling it these days, is such a great resource because I see people like giving jobs to other folks. I see people who are not organizers asking for organizing help in there. We have promotional threads on Saturdays that you can promote your business. I also just started doing a new one for social media love. So if you're trying to grow your account in there, every other week you'll see a prompt in there to put your social media handles in there and then help cross promote, engage, all that good stuff. So it's such a great resource. I highly recommend, if you don't have a Facebook group for your business yet, I would look into starting one. Okay, preach Google is your mother. That's such a great comment. I love that. It's true. I mean, it really is just like, it's so important. Stephanie is asking about the elevator pitch. Yes, I just put it in there. Jamie is saying that she joined the membership. I saw that come through last week and I'm so excited to have you in there. I can't even tell you guys. My goal really, like, this is such a baby for me. Like it's my founding membership program. My goal was to just get 10 people in there, and I launched on Friday of last week, and my goal was to just have 10 people, and we're nearly there, and I still have a whole week left of the launch. So I could honestly cry right now at how amazing that is, that I've almost met my goal. So we have like a nice cute little group of people coming, and it's you guys are just exceeding my expectations, and I'm so happy, and I hope that everybody enjoys it. I hope that more people join and we just have a wonderful love fest every single month and you learn amazing things. Let's see what other questions are coming up here. Would you give private tutoring? I'm going to assume that you're asking me if I give one-on-one coaching, and yes, I do. So if you are interested in that, I will pop the link in the chat for you. I offer one-on-one coaching. It's also extremely affordable. And unfortunately, because of that fact, my calendar fills up really quick, but I always post at the beginning of the month on my Facebook group, and also if you're in my email list. So join my email list if you haven't done that already. If you watch any of my YouTube videos, if you scroll down to the description of that video, there is a link to join my email list, and then you have first crack basically at getting into my one-on-one coaching. Let's see, name of person. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. So, Ellen clarified, she's talking about the name of the person who gave your review. So say Mary as you sprinkle sentences into your website. No, yeah, I usually use stuff like happy client, thrilled client, just something of that nature, like ISO client or whatever you want to call it. Eve is saying, hey, is this my video editor, Eve? It is. Okay. I have to do a shameless plug for Eve, because Eve edits all of my YouTube and podcast content, and she is freaking amazing. So if you are looking for somebody, and she also does all my social media content now as well. She's been editing a lot of my short form, like reels and things like that, and adding captions and cutaways and B-roll and like making everything really professional. If you're looking for a really good video editor, I'm going to put her information down in the comments here, because she rocks and she gets stuff done on time. Hopefully as she gets busier, she'll still have room for me, but yeah, she's awesome. Let's see. I'll give you guys, let's see, I wonder, here's her YouTube. I'm trying to find Eve. Where's your website? If you're still here, Eve, will you drop your website into the comments, please? I don't know why I'm having trouble finding it. But yeah, because I want everybody to experience how awesome she is. Okay. Yes, she's still here. Eve, drop your website into the comments, please, so that we can all partake in your awesomeness. All right, let me pop back over to Facebook and see what other questions we have going on here. Yeah, my friend Beth, who is an amazing professional organizer in the Midwest, was saying that she gave MOPS a tryout here and they've been great. That's awesome. Yeah, they're definitely one of my favorites. Ellen is saying Pinterest consists mainly of pins. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading through this stuff. Claire is digging the tip about how to utilize social media. Begin so we can grow and be better at it. Be bold and begin. That helps. Yeah, absolutely. It for sure does. Eileen is shouting out the Overbooked course. Thanks, Eileen. You're the best. Okay. Here's a good one. I've been struggling to figure out what my first post on my personal account, obviously connected to a business one, should be to introduce this new venture. Should it be a personal or go straight to strategies and ideas, so on? I know I don't have to be perfect, but it's something that I'm stuck on. Website is in the works. This is a fantastic question. I love this question. This is what I think. I love when I catch somebody right where you are, where you're about ready to launch your business, because you can turn this into a promotional launch series that involves both your personal and your professional. So I wouldn't do just one post. I would actually do multiple over the course of like a week or two, and really put it into like a business launch, because it not only gives you an expectation and a deadline to start your business, but it also gives you the opportunity to build anticipation and build excitement for your business launch. So on your personal page, generally speaking, my rule of thumb is people are on social media to be social. They're not there to become your clients. So I would say, to answer your first part of this question, is should it be personal? Yeah, I would say it should be personal, because the people that are currently following you on your personal page are going to be your friends and family, for the most part, unless you're already using some kind of using it as a content creation platform where you're, giving tips or recipes or decor ideas or whatever. But it looks like here, this is your personal account. So make it come from a personal place, and then say, if you're interested in XYZ tips, go to, follow me here for all that information. Cause you want to be able, the other thing is like, you don't want your content to start annoying people. Like, and this goes also for when I run email campaigns. From now on, pretty much what I've started doing when I run a promotional launch is my very first email that goes out is to determine interest. Now, it's not perfect. Like, I know that some of you continue to get some emails sometimes, and it takes the system a little while to catch up to this, but I try to gauge people's interest and allow them the option to opt in or opt out. So if you don't care about the empowered organizer, I'm okay with that. I just want to know ahead of time, so I'm not sending you those emails that you don't like if you don't want to hear about the offer. So you can do the same thing with your social media. Like, you can allow people the opportunity to opt in or opt out, but don't all of a sudden hijack your personal account with a bunch of tips and strategies if people aren't interested in following that. And it's nothing to take personal. It just kind of is what it is. Okay. Allison had to dip out, but she's going to catch the replay. Yeah. For those of you that were concerned, I know there were some folks that were asking like, oh, is there going to be a replay of this? Like, yes, you will be able to access the replay for 48 hours. This one I may actually just keep up indefinitely because it's part of my launch promotion and it's got a lot of really good tips, and I want it to help as many people as possible. So you know what? We're just going to keep it up on the YouTube channel, and you can access this indefinitely as much as you need. And I think that's the question that Natalia is asking. Just join. Will you save a video? Yes, you will be able to have access to this. Okay. Alina is asking, does the membership include any one-on-one coaching? So it includes group coaching every single month. And because the group is still relatively small and not everybody is going to attend all the group calls all the time, I don't have an expectation of that really. Those who do show up are essentially going to get one-on-one coaching. All of the members of Empowered Organizer membership have links to exclusive member pricing for all of my resources, including one-on-one coaching. So you will get the cheapest rate when it comes to one-on-one coaching. Anybody that comes to book a coaching session through my email list, my free Facebook group, YouTube channel, they're all going to be paying the higher non-member rate. You as an Empowered Organizer member get the lower member rate. That also includes my forms pack. So if you want access to that, that includes my Overbooked course. Everybody's going to get bigger discounts for that as part of the membership pricing. So hopefully that answers that question. Let's see. Oh, you're saying it's Agnes. Okay. Agnes, I really hope I'm saying that right now. Okay. Oh, I read Agnes's question already. Okay, good. Was there anything else that anybody had before we end this ridiculously long live stream? Oh, somebody was asking. Oh, I see, Ellen. Thank you, Ellen. You're just the best for clarifying. Somebody was asking what a Pinterest board was, so I was helping answer that in the Facebook group. Okay, yes. Thank you. In case you don't know what a Pinterest board is, you can hang out with Ellen and she'll let you know what it is. Okay. Eve, are you still here? Did you drop your website information for us so that I don't have to go hunting for it? I'm going to go hunting for it. Let's see. Because I want anyway, because I've had people ask about her services before. I can't find it right now. I'll drop it in the comments. Okay. If there are no more questions, going once, going twice, we're going to end the stream today. And I will be back next week. Let me pop up the topic. Next week's topic is 5 strategies to scale your organizing business without losing your mind. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. And next week's live stream, I'm still trying to figure out my schedule in terms of what day it's going to be happening. I promise I will get that info to you ASAP. I will start another event page for that. Now that everybody knows how to get out of the event chat, because I posted a video of that in the free Facebook group yesterday, so that if you're getting messages from the chat, you know how to leave it. Like there were just some like just comical instances of people being like, how did I get in this group, including myself? I was like, why am I getting all these messages? Like, leave me alone. But then I understood what was going on, and you can mute it, you can leave the group, whatever, or leave the chat. So that will be available to you guys next week. Again, 5 strategies to scale your organizing business without losing your mind. That's what we're going to be talking about next week. If you missed that link to check out Empowered Organizer, go ahead and click that. Go check it out to learn more. You can also go to see all the courses we offer at ispeakorganized.com/courses. Happy to help. If you guys have any other questions, you're going to have to ask me on the back end and hope that I have time later today to help you. One other thing I wanted to mention, there was a comment yesterday in the Facebook group asking for my move management guide, my move management estimate guide. I will absolutely get that to whoever. There were a bunch of people that DM'd me asking for that. I will send it to you later on today. I just want to make sure that I have the optimal version set up and ready for you. So that's my next project when we're done with the live stream. Okay. Eve said something. Did she? No, I don't know. Maybe she did. Did you drop the link? Oh, I dropped the link in the YouTube. Oh, but YouTube won't allow it. That's stupid. Okay, well, I'm going to put it in my Facebook group. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So the recording of the Facebook group, I'll make sure to tag you and put it in there for you. Okay, you guys are the best. Thank you. Lonnie, thanks for coming. Alina, thanks for coming. Everybody, Agnes, thank you so much. Allison, it was good to see you. Thanks for sticking around. You guys are just absolutely fabulous. You're the best. I love you all. Hearts up. That's what we do here at I Speak Organized. At the end of every training session, we put hearts up because we're all here for the love and growth of each other, each other's lives, each other's businesses. That's what we're all about here at I Speak Organized. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And I'll see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.
Mom, I clipped my nose and then the foober came right here.
It did?
Yeah, and I clipped it